Today we're making Weber kettle smoked beef cheeks. I'm Adam, and today on the Grilling Dad we'll show you how to make this delicious brisket alternative. Got our beef cheeks trimmed up here. Not gonna lie, that's a pain in the butt. Hopefully it's worth it. I would recommend, I started off using this fillet knife. Later on I switched to using a much more rigid blade, this one, and this worked a lot better. Both very sharp, but having a little bit less flex than this fillet knife was very helpful. So anyways, I've got these trimmed up. Now I'm just going to season them with an SPG blend. This one is from a company here in Minnesota. It's got salt, pepper, granulated garlic, and granulated onion. So I'm just going to season these up on all sides. And then I'm going to put them in a Ziploc storage container. Let them kind of dry brine overnight, and I'll smoke them tomorrow on the Weber kettle. Curious to test out this method because, again, we're going to smoke these for probably about 4 hours tomorrow, and then we're going to confit them in Wagyu tallow for another probably about 4 hours. Alright, today we're using our Spider Grills Venom to maintain temps on our Weber kettle. Got this thing rocking at 275. We're just about to put our beef cheeks on. Let's take a look at how our fire is doing. Got a nice coal bed there. I'm going to throw a couple chunks of hickory on so those can get smoldering away. I've got a couple pieces of cherry on there from I smoked a pork butt yesterday. So we'll just toss the hickory chunks on top. Spider Grills will maintain this temp at 275 for us. Gonna try to make sure I stay outside the zone here that could see some direct heat from the coals. Again, I'm not really worried too much about these cooking to a particular temperature. I'm really mostly worried about them getting color and building some bark before we go ahead and confit them, just so the bark doesn't come off in the confit. So one thing I forgot to do is we're gonna go ahead and hook up our wireless thermometers. These are some thermometers we're testing from Combustion Inc. I used these on a cook the other day, and actually they're really sweet, so just trying to get some miles on these. So we're going to slide 2 of these in our beef cheeks to help us monitor the temps on those. The Combustion Inc. app works really well. These probes so far are really nice. They're substantially thinner than the meter probes, for example, so we're just going to take a couple of these and slide them in. Alright, so our beef cheeks, the bark is set, smoky. The bark is set on these bad boys. They're just under 180 internal temp. So I'm going to actually finish them, confit them in a little dip crock pot. I think they'll all fit in here. And typically, I've found with the crock pots that we use at least, that when you have this on warm, it'll stay right around 200 degrees, which is just about perfect. We're not trying to fry these, we're trying to kind of slow cook these in beef tallow. So I'm going to go ahead, put these beef cheeks down in this little crock pot, Yeah, this is going to work perfectly. And then all you really want to do is make sure that you have enough tallow in here to kind of cover the beef cheeks. They should be virtually entirely submerged in here. And then you're just going for probe tender. So you'll check these just like you would a brisket. You know, poke it, and when it starts to feel like butter, all the connective tissue and stuff inside is rendered. Then you can choose to either slice these up or kind of mash them up and make beef sandwiches. We're going to slice these, trying to make a faux brisket here. So we're going to get these inside, get our tallow in, get them in the crock pot, get the crock pot plugged in, and let these ride for probably another 4 hours or so. Then we'll let them rest for an hour before slicing them. Let's see how this turned out. Not quite sure where the grain is running. I might have just nailed that cut. You can see amazing, very well defined smoke ring on there. This is super tender. Super tender. You can see there's all sorts of, that's all collagen. Let's see. Pretty tender. See how it tastes. It's tender and smoky. I smoked this using hickory chunks. I think if I was going to do it again, I'd try to find some oak chunks. I could have maybe run a little bit cleaner fire. But this is my first time smoking beef cheeks. I don't think they're quite a brisket alternative. Very reminiscent of the point on the brisket. Good job.
Good job.
Go on.
Go upstairs with the big kids.
Okay.
But I do have to say, it's a little bit, it's a really different texture. I'm not sure yet if I like it or not. All of the gelatin from the collagen, the intramuscular tissue breaking down, is kind of an odd sensation when you're chewing on it. So I don't know if I like it yet or not. But it's an interesting experiment. You can definitely taste the smoke. It's a really cool way to finish this in the confit to help cook such a small piece of meat without it drying out. I think if we had left it on the smoker for the whole cook until it got to probe tender, 200-ish degrees, in order to get it there would have been so much airflow that the outside of this would have probably dried out, and you wouldn't have much moisture inside of it. So the confit is a really interesting way to cook this to make sure that it's moist, but it gets probe tender all the way through. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, again, be sure to like and subscribe below to check out all the Grilling Dad content. It's all made by dads for dads. Thanks for watching.